started seeing your reflections before I went to your blog. Your reflections are like the things you see around you. And people don't understand the things you see around you is what really made you. I actually saw an episode of Blackish, right? I don't know if you see that program before. And one of the, so the father is a, um, where is he now? Is into advertising, right? So when the kids went in, all the advice that this guy has done is was based on the things his kids tell him from school. I was like, man, and I just felt like your reflections is that it's about the things you see around you and you make it practical and you turn it into a message for others. Why do you do that? I love that.
So Ayo, the reflections, right? The fact that it's now on LinkedIn only just became like public. So because by default I'm an analytical thinker, right? And in terms of my personal life, even my faith, sometimes some things would happen and I'm like, oh, this is how these things work. So when I'm talking to you, I'm like asking why. And so many times in the course of the day, some things would just happen around me and I'll be like, this could be applicable to businesses or this could be applicable to other aspects of life. So I do it on the go. It's like it's almost like an unconscious competence for me. I kind of don't even have to struggle for it. But one of those days, I think one of my first posts on LinkedIn with my reflections was, I think I'd been looking at my CV from my application to a job 15 years ago. And I saw that, one of my skills my strengths I put there was analytical thinking. And I looked at my CV today and I realized analytical thinking. I'm like, there's got to be something core about this, right? And so I started asking certain questions of myself. And I said, when you find certain things, sometimes you want to share it with as many people as possible. So
Hmm.
normally I'll have the conversation with my husband and maybe my friends or those immediately around me. But remember, I said, once I found my voice, I said I wanted to be a translator.
Hmm.
And so it's both ways. There are business principles you make simple so
Hmm.
that people can understand it and apply it to other aspects of life, which is like my blog. But
Yeah.
there's also the reverse where things that are in basic life
Hmm.
are fundamental and foundational, that they affect like other issues, including your business and other aspects of life. And so for me, putting it on LinkedIn, the first one was like, okay, for me, how did that go? But the more I just realized that, well, this was going well, I just started sharing it. And so I don't even have to struggle to. Yesterday, I already got another reflection I was going to put on LinkedIn, but I was like, okay, for me, take your time. I
Yeah.
have a few other things that I still wanted to share. So that really was why I started putting it on LinkedIn, to make sure that as I'm learning those things, I'm sharing it with people in a way that they can apply it to themselves. And I always find it very interesting when I find somebody who says, oh, for me, this was the right time. This came at a point when I'm in the middle of this decision. And that for me is just the joy that I get from doing it.
Yeah, seriously, you don't know how much you when you put things out there, you don't know how much the universe is actually working towards to helping someone else. Seriously, when I started this reading with Ayo, and I didn't even know I was going to do it. I just loved reading, right? And but like every time I talk to my friends about things, I just keep talking about books. And one of my friends was like, you need to start something, start sharing these things that you're talking about. Because like every time we talk to you, you're talking about this book, that thing. I'm like, okay, let me start a podcast. I just started it. And seriously, there was one email last year. I didn't ever knew this guy, and he just sent me an email. I was like, "Man, you have to change my life." I just started reading because I saw your passion and the things that came out of your passion. I like, man, this is so wonderful, and that is the best feedback I've ever got it. But I loved it. And talking about reflections, I'm living through my daughter right now. So actually, when I watch a lot of his shows, last week I watched, I put something on LinkedIn about Encanto, and there was one part of it, and it just talked about, let's talk about Bruno, right? I don't know if you've watched it. Don't Let's not talk about, and I just took a message from it. Like my daughter has been teaching me a lot. The other day, she they moved her to a new class because our class was moved, was full. And me as a father, I was like, why would they move my daughter? And she was crying, and everybody like we wanted to go all haywire. Then the next, well, at the end of the day, she went to the class. When she came back, I like, how was your class? Man, that's a big, great class. I met the best people. And I was like, but you were crying the other day that your teacher was the best. She said, oh, daddy, they can be two best, right?
You know.
I was like, damn, that was a message for me. Because like they can be two best, and there's nothing that can say they can be one best, right? And so that's how we reflect about things. So now I don't have to have a best color. I can have two best colors. I can have three
Absolutely.
best colors. I was like, wow.
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
good, good, man. You want to share reflection with us before we go? I would love to hear a reflection you just got. Are you, if you can, if it's something you can share, maybe it's something little.
All right. So I can share it because okay. So the last one I already shared. It's on LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
this one is coming, but it was I get a lot of reflections from traffic because there's always traffic around me, and I was on a bottleneck. I was on a traffic that was 3 lane road that was becoming two. And so as of course when that happens, the everybody's trying to get ahead of the other, so you have to struggle because I was in the middle.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get into the right lane because I was coming up on my turn, on my exit, which was on the right. And so the more I was struggling, the guys on the right would not allow me go, but the person on the left kind of saw that and left the gap. I saw a gap, and then I didn't go. And then he kept horning for me. And he's like, why is she not going into this? Why is she struggling to be on that side? And then it hit me that, for me, not every opportunity gets you to your destination fast.
Mm.
In fact, some opportunities are great, but it's a function of where you are in your journey and where you're going. And so while it was a great opportunity, it was open, he was offering it to me on a platter of gold. It did not align with my destination. And so I was great because if I missed that turn, it was going to take me longer. So if I took that opportunity, I was going to take longer to get back to my house, which was my destination. And for me, it's like in life, so many times you see opportunities, but your ability to filter those opportunities come from an understanding of yourself, where you're going, and where you are in the journey to where you're going. Because then you
Mm.
can realize that while this is a great opportunity, it's not the right time and it's not right for me.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, sometimes. So I've actually, I was rejected for a job, but I got a better job. You know, things like that. Things like that happen. So it might just not just be the right journey, but I can speak to you all day. For me, because I said you wow me, like
I,
you wow me a lot, and I will encourage everybody to go check out Fumi. It's Funmilola asa at com. Go check out our blog. Our post is there, really interesting. I love it. And check and follow our LinkedIn. She has great reflections and great messages she's put out there. Thanks for me for your time. I really love
thank,
talking to you, and
thanks,
keep
Bayo.
doing
Thank
it.
you.
Keep doing it. Keep doing
Don't
being
worry, there's,
great.
there's more in the pipeline.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Take care. Enjoy
Thanks,
the rest of your
Aya.
day.
Have a good
Bye.
one. Bye.